Good morning, children. Welcome to the class. Today's date is 28 August 2020. So we have been doing lesson number 4, part 2, which is India's rivers. So let's move towards the recap. This is about what we have discussed in our previous class. So in our previous class, we have learnt that the snow on the high mountains melts during summer and flows down the mountain sides in small streams. And these streams, then again, it flows into the river. That means it joins the rivers. And these particular rivers are called snow-fed rivers because they come from the snow. And then the second point is when rivers are formed due to melting of glaciers, they are called glacier-fed rivers. So the water that comes from the melting of the snow are called and joins the river are called snow-fed rivers, and the water that comes from the glacier, melting of the glacier and joins the river, those are called glacier-fed rivers. Then we have the rivers that receive water from the monsoon rains are called rain-fed rivers. So, and there is another type of rivers. Those rivers are periodic. They are not actually, they doesn't flow the whole year. They only flow when the monsoon arrives. And these rivers are called rain-fed rivers. Then we have learned about a river basin. A river basin is the area which gets water and silt from the main river and its tributaries. Then Mahanadi, Krishna and Godavari are the rivers that flows towards the east, and Narmada, Periyar and Tapi are the rivers that flows towards the west. So today we will be discussing the important uses of Indian rivers. Now uses of Indian rivers as a whole we have already discussed in the part 1, that is understanding rivers. Now this is that part was as a whole, rivers as a whole. But here we will be discussing the features of the Indian rivers. Okay. So let's start. So as you can see here, the first important use of Indian river is the agriculture. We all know that rivers are the heart for agriculture, right? Rivers carry soil rich in nutrients. Nutrients means the silt, the sedimentary, right? Rivers carry soil rich in nutrients. Silt that is carried by the Ganga, Yamuna, Godavari and so on is useful for agriculture. The large basins and deltas of rivers provide a lot of fertile land for farming. River water is diverted through canals to areas where there is no water. As you can see in this picture, this is the fertile land where rice cultivation is doing. The person is doing rice cultivation. And the second picture is the canal. So this is the water from the river. Suppose an area which is far from the river, what they do is they make a canal. The way here it's like a drain, okay? They make a canal and they divert. Divert means that we used to say it breaks the river and then it diverts the water through that canal, and then this water gets to the field, the farmer's field, the cultivation land. Okay, so that is how canals are helpful. Then next we have the electricity. Now the Sardar Sarovar Dam on the Narmada river is an example of a dam built to generate hydroelectricity. So the first picture is the Sardar Sarovar Dam. So this is it is in Gujarat, and these dams are built why? To produce electricity. And this electricity, hydro means water, okay? Hydro means water. Now the electricity produced from the water is called hydroelectricity. Okay, remember that. So whenever you are going to write the name of the dam or you are being asked a question about dam, the hydroelectricity will be the thing that you are going to use. Not only electricity but hydroelectricity, because hydro is Water and electricity is electricity. So the electricity that is generated from the water is called hydroelectricity. Then the next is the religion. Many rivers in India are considered to be sacred. Many religious events are performed on the banks of this river, especially Ganga. Then we have the Brahmaputra as well, right? Now this is the picture. The second picture is of Haridwar, where people used to take bath. They used to do all the rituals and everything. Even we have in Assam in the last few years, Namami Brahmaputra, right? Where they used to do pujas, they used to pray for the sacred Brahmaputra. So this is how in India we consider these rivers to be very sacred, very religious and spiritual. The next is fishing. Fishing is done in the Hooghly River in West Bengal. Similarly, many Indian rivers are a source of fish for Indians. Now here you can see that the person, on the first picture you can see the person is fishing in Hooghly River. Even in Brahmaputra also you can see or in its tributaries as well. If you go to the village area, you can see that most people are fishing on the rivers because it is a source of food for most of the people. Then we have transportation. Some waterways are used for transportation. Example, the Ganga, Bhagirathi, Hooghly rivers flowing from Uttar Pradesh to West Bengal, the Brahmaputra in Assam. So I have here put the picture of the Brahmaputra river here in the second picture. So this is a ferry carrying people from our Guwahati, the city Guwahati, to the North Guwahati. So I hope most of you have seen this. This is a very familiar scene. If you go to the this one Uzan Bazar Ghat or Sukleshwar Ghat, Pandu Ghat, so you will get to see this is a very common scene where people used to take the ferry. Instead of the road, they used to take the waterways, the ferries, and then they reach the North Guwahati far more in less time than taking the road. Then we have the last one, which is recreation. Rishikesh on the banks of Ganga is famous spot for river rafting. So recreation means the activities that we do: parasailing, rafting, fishing, swimming, etc. So here only the Rishikesh is mentioned here, but there are lots of rivers in India where this recreation activities are being done. Now let's come to the I explore. Sometimes in the middle areas, a river might disappear from the surface of the earth. This does not always mean that it has dried up. So sometimes it might happen in the middle when suppose the river is flowing, but in the middle portion, it seems that the river has dried up. There is no water, but actually it doesn't dry up. What happens then? Sometimes a river finds a crack in the ground and begins to travel under the ground. A few underground rivers from around the world are the Neglinaya in Moscow and the Fleet in London. Okay, so there are some underground rivers as well. If you go to the Google and search it, you will find more lots of underground rivers in India as well. Let's study the Be Amazed. The Sundarban Delta formed by the river Brahmaputra and the river Ganga is the largest delta in the world. Now just imagine the largest delta is in India. So the Sundarban Delta is one of the most fertile areas in the world. Clear? So this is one of the facts that you have got in this chapter. Now this is a picture that I have taken. Okay, this is a Saraswati river. So this river is entering the underground via a waterfall. Through a waterfall, it is entering the underground at Mana village. Okay, so this is a underground river. Clear? Now let's move towards the next one. This is from the workbook, EVS 2 workbook. Let's discuss this question. Question number 14. Complete the diagram by providing information about various uses of rivers. Number A. Name any two means of water transport. Water transport, you can write boats and ships. Also there are ferries. Okay, here I have written only boats and ships. Then number B, any two uses of dams. So it produce electricity. The first one is produce electricity and provide water for domestic use, for cooking, for bathing, drinking, etc. Clear? Then we have number C, names of two water animals, fish and crab. Clear? Then number D is two uses of rivers for farming. Provide fertile lands to grow crops and provide water for irrigation. So number one is it provides fertile land, that we already know, and the second is it provides irrigation. We join the pipes or we use the canals, no, to reach it to the farms which are far from the rivers. So this is answer number 14. Now this is answer number 17. Let's discuss this one. In recent times, a lot of water is diverted from the rivers to the industries, leaving farmers helpless. Mention any two ways in which the farmers are affected. So what is happening is, most of the water sources, the river waters or like any other water sources, more and more industries are coming up, they are settling up, right? So what they do is they need water. So to fulfill their requirement, they used to divert the water and then it connects it to the industry. Then what happens? And industries, actually it uses lots of water on the daily basis. So farmers get less water for the cultivation. Now you have to mention two ways how farmers are affected. So if river water is diverted to the industries, the first point is the farmers will not get water for irrigation to grow crops. The land which are far, they won't be able to divert the water to the canals and then put for the irrigation, okay? Because the water will become less. And then also the deposits of silt bought by the river would decrease, which would affect the fertility of the soil. Now as soon as it gets diverted, the most of the water is consumed by the industries. So what will happen? The silt, the nutrients bought by the rivers, there will be less nutrients, and if there is less nutrients, what will happen? The fertility of the soil will be less and the cultivation will be also less. That's why we need to preserve the rivers very well. Now let's move towards the this one, the crossword. Read the clues and solve the crossword about the rivers of India. So first we are going to read the downwards. Number one, a Himalayan river that flows through Ladakh. So which is the answer? Just a minute. Yeah. Is it visible? Okay, so the answer is Indus. I-N-D-U-S, Indus. Okay. Then a tributary of Brahmaputra. We already know that the tributary of Brahmaputra is Son, S-O-N, Son. Then the river which originates in Tibet, it's our river, that is the Brahmaputra. Then we come to the across. Number 4, a river which originates in the Western Ghats, that is Krishna. Number 5, a tributary of the Mahanadi, that is Hasdeo. Number 6, a peninsular river that flows from east to west, that is Narmada. And number 7, a tributary of Yamuna, that is Betwa. And then we have number 8, a major South Indian river which flows from Karnataka to Tamil Nadu, that is Kaveri. So these are the rivers. You have to remember these rivers as well, okay? There might not be any crossword also. You might be asked directly. So you have to be very particularly, you should know which river connects to which, or which river and which tributary connects to which river, okay? So these is very important. So here I end my class as well as the lesson. Prepare for the unit test very well, go thoroughly. So that's all for today. Thank you.